I mean, because you could have just said, I want to go get an extra job at the mall.
Okay.
I want to be...
Ma'am, since
Your Honor,
we've been together, since 2008, she hasn't started working until actually about 3 weeks ago. It was her actually first-time job. Hooking or stripping?
It's not hooking.
You're selling your body for money. Hooker.
No, it's not.
Anyway.
Hang on to your seats, folks, because Mr. Clark just entered the courtroom like a storm, ready to claim that he was the real and true father of little LaKearney Clark. The tension's sky high, and emotions are raging like a river after a storm. Is he really the daddy, or is this just wishful thinking wrapped in a dad's hope? Buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride into the world of courtroom chaos.
Mr. Clark, why are these results so important to you?
Because it's a little child's life at stake, and my life is at stake too. And she's everything to me. She's my princess, and I really care about her.
And so you are convinced that you are, in fact, the father. But you say, Ms. Bolden, that's not the case.
No, ma'am.
As the courtroom drama intensifies, Ms. Bolden drops a huge bomb of a news. The night that could change everything involved Mr. Moore and a hotel room, sparked by a row with Mr. Clark. What is even happening between these two? I cannot tell. With the paternity puzzle pieces scattering, everyone's left grappling with her bombshell confession. Is Mr. Clark's belief that he is the real father just a house of cards about to crumble? Well, what Ms. Bolden reveals left me shocked about the truth.
And we had an argument about bills, as usual, about his half on the bills. He stormed out the door, so I stormed out the door too. I called Mr. Moore, and we had got a hotel room. And that night I had sex with Mr. Moore, and that's the night I think I conceived.
Poor Mr. Clark remembers the time that he had trust, that the baby was his, and did everything for her. From prenatal appointments to signing the birth certificate. Poor guy, he's really been all in from the start. But Ms. Bolden's counter-claims throw shade big time, suggesting her subtle hints during the pregnancy were breadcrumbs leading to a different dad. I cannot believe how she got away with that.
After, did you sign the birth certificate?
Yes, Your Honor.
You did?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let me see that. Jerome, please. And so, Ms. Bolden, all this is going on, and he's signing the birth certificate, and he thinks this is his child, and you know, in your mind, you say that it's not?
Yes.
So, during your pregnancy, during the child's birth, did you ever say anything, give a hint?
Yes, ma'am.
Things are getting worse. The plot thickens with Mr. Moore stepping into the spotlight, hungry for a DNA test to claim his fatherhood rights. Meanwhile, Mr. Clark's bond with LaKearney stands unshaken, and he says he really feels like that's his baby. It is such a sad situation, but as the emotional winds howl, everyone's on edge. What if all this love was for nothing? He also says he did not find out about the cheating until after the baby was born. But Ms. Bolden says otherwise. Things are not adding up at all.
This was after she gave birth to LaKearney.
So you had no clue until afterwards.
Right.
Ms. Bolden, you're saying that you told him specifically before.
Yes, I did.
So at what point did you tell the other man that he was a possibility?
He already knew. He never had doubts of my baby. He always said he just wanted the DNA test.
Just when you think the drama can't get any more worse and confusing, the DNA results are ready to slice through the suspense. The courtroom holds its breath. Will Mr. Clark's paternal instincts be vindicated? Is that really his baby? Or was it all for nothing? I really don't know what's about to happen. The envelope's tear might just tear apart more than just paper.
Mr. Clark or Mr. Moore is her biological father. It has been determined by this court that the biological father is Mr. Clark. You're very happy. That's good. Ms. Bolden,
Yes.
how do you feel?
I feel the same.
When the judge asks how she feels, Ms. Bolden just gives a cold answer. But the judge asks an important question that changes everything.
Do you want Mr. Clark to step up and play a bigger role in her life?
To be honest with you, Your Honor, no. It's just we don't get along.
He does have a legal right to see his child. Wouldn't it be easier on LaKearney if you all could figure out some type of visitation and a way to work together?
Yes.
Do you want to work on that, Mr. Clark?
Yes, Your Honor, for the baby's sake.
Miss Lusk is fighting for her life in this court, and she says that Mr. Page, despite his untimely death, is the father of her daughter, Samurai. This is a really, really strange case. The supposed mother of Mr. Page, Mrs. Page, is absolutely pissed. She fires back with claims of dishonesty and says this woman is a liar. How do you even resolve a drama like this when the father is gone? Get ready for a deep dive into the heart of this family drama.
You and your mother say you have no doubt whatsoever when it comes to knowing who your 3-year-old daughter, Samari's biological father is.
Yes, Your Honor.
Unfortunately, the man you claim is her father has has died, and now you find yourself facing off against his mother, who is just as convinced.
As testimonies unfold, the air in the courtroom is thick with tension. Miss Lusk shares her trials as a young mother juggling school and parenthood, her partner gone too soon, leaving behind a storm of controversy with a skeptical potential grandmother. Her story is truly sad, but is she even being honest, or is she just making stuff up? Honestly, I cannot tell at this point. The entire courtroom also looks befuddled.
So, Ms. Lusk, describe to the court how difficult this situation has been for you and your daughter.
It's been more than extremely difficult. Being pregnant at 16, having to still go through school. These past 4 years, everything has been on me and my mother. And I feel it's completely unfair because he has a whole other side. She has a whole other side to her family. My daughter is beautiful, and you missed out on 4 years, almost 4 years of my child's life.
But Miss Page is not letting this go. She thinks, like any good mother, that her son remained loyal to another love. She says Miss Lusk is lying through her teeth, suggesting a financial gain linked to an insurance payout. Well, the insurance stuff isn't far-fetched, but let's see what happens next here.
Unless it's proven, it's not my son's
You
baby.
never posted it on Facebook.
Ms. Lusk,
Knew nothing about her.
You said you have an insurance policy.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so this insurance policy is in the amount of $50,000. You submitted that paperwork to the court. It is your testimony today that Ms. Lusk is...
The judge hears both sides out and lets them build their case, but even she is left confused about the truth. With a child's future on the line, the courtroom finds out more stuff. Miss Lusk has not even spent a lot of time with her child, but she says she has been prevented by force. Miss Page is not going to let her lie, though, so she fires back with her version of things. All I can say is, wow.
To be honest,
yes,
I
ma'am.
don't
This
want
is my
somebody
first time
around
seeing
me.
you, Miss Anderson.
Yes, it is, and my first time and hopefully last seeing you.
The feeling is mutual.
Okay? Because we don't
Listen,
want you around.
but if,
I don't want my
listen,
child.
if the baby is, this will not be the last time you all see one another. And that's why I don't know why we carrying on up in here today like this.
The judge asks Miss Page if she would want to stay in her son's kid's life, and she says no. Why, you might wonder? Because she can't take the drama. Pretty weird to abandon your grandkid because you hate the mother. Honestly, these people are really weird.
Miss Page, to watch you shouting and shouting at this young girl because you are more than double her age.
Double.
I know this is not really what you want to do, and I know your anger and your frustration, but when I ask you if this is your son's daughter, do you want to have a relationship? And you say, I don't know because I don't know if I can take the drama.
Now, after all those tears and screaming and shouting, we finally are about to find out the truth. And truthfully, I cannot tell who I'm rooting for here. Everyone holds their breath as the judge finally reveals the truth.
The probability of relatedness between Miss Page and Samari Page is 99.96%.
4 years, and I never asked nothing
4
of
years,
you. I never asked
my son been
nothing of
deceased.
you.
You're supposed to do what you got to do as a mother.
Stop arguing. Both of you all are in so much pain.
Strap in, folks. We're diving into a whirlwind of accusations and shattered dreams as Mr. Dark disputes his role as the father of Ms. Bailey's 11-month-old son. He claims the timelines don't add up and says that cheating has destroyed their once promising relationship. Will this court session mend their fractured past or shatter them further? Get ready for a roller coaster of emotions in today's explosive episode.
Mr. Dark, you say the defendant is a promiscuous liar who broke your heart 4 years ago, stepping out on your then relationship. You admit to having a one-night stand with her 2 years ago. Mr. Dark, why would you call Ms. Bailey a promiscuous liar?
Your Honor, I've been knowing Miss Bailey for probably about 7 or 8 years.
The plot thickens dramatically as Mr. Dark recounts a relationship riddled with promises that completely turned into betrayals. His world is turned upside down by a bombshell dropped by Ms. Bailey's best friend. I was left completely shocked by this, you guys. You won't believe what he reveals.
We was in a relationship for about 4 years.
Okay.
Everything was okay. Everything was pretty good when I first met her. We had some good conversations about establishing us a family and probably having kids, things like that. We lived together at that time. I left to go out of town to do some work. I was working out of town, out of state, as a matter of fact. I went to Florida to do some work in Florida. While I was going to Florida to do some work,
Mr. Dark really doesn't know what to do now. Can you blame the poor guy? On the other hand, Ms. Bailey still says Mr. Dark Clark is the sole father figure in her son's life. I need the truth and confidence of this woman after all that has been revealed.
You came back together because Jameer is 11 months old, so that something else had to happen.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
We never stopped. We never stopped dealing with each other along the way. Even though we separated, we still occasionally seen each other every, like 2, 3, maybe every 2 months, 3 months or so.
What's dealt with each other mean?
We still seen each other occasionally. And she had early.
I'm sorry?
And she
I
had
had
early.
him early, like I was due November 30th.
Oh, what, a 30th? Okay.
Yeah.
Things are becoming heated now. He says he was used as a crutch because even when he had his doubts, he was there for the baby every single step of the way. I kind of feel bad for him. And after all of that, Mr. Dark found out he really wasn't the father. The court is left holding its breath for what is to come.
You feel like you were a crutch?
Yes, ma'am, because from the beginning, I was there at the hospital when Jameer was born, even with my doubts, because in the back of my mind, I didn't never want to feel like, okay, he really was my son and I didn't do the things that I was supposed to do as a father. I was there when he was born. The onesies and stuff that he took home,
Okay, so
I
why
bought
did
for
you
them.
sign the birth
The Pampers that he had,
Miss Bailey, what are you feeling in this moment?
Now they really start arguing about who has done more for the baby. The back and forth is super tense, and I'm just enjoying the drama. Who's masking the truth? Who's revealing it? Brace for impact as the judge sets the stage for a revelation that promises to completely change the future of this poor young kid.
So Jameer is 11 months old. What has been your relationship
That's
with
why you don't
the
have
child?
your first child, because you don't do for her.
I was in Jameer's life. I've been a part of his life. I've gotten him. I've taken him with me. I've kept him. I took him to Alabama with me when I went to my granny's funeral last month.
Mr. Dark, you are the father.
Oh wow, I did not see this coming. It made me a bit emotional too. And oh my god, what happens afterwards will make this even tougher to watch. Get ready, folks.
I told you that he was yours.
Your word ain't, man.
Okay.
So listen, when I first told you you were the father, Mr. Dark, I saw genuine emotion on your face because I felt like in that moment you understood that for almost a year, this baby has been denied and questioned, and he doesn't deserve that.
The drama hits the fan when Mr. Threlkeld rolls back from overseas only to come home to the worst surprise ever. Was he serving his country while his wife was serving lies? With a shaky marriage and the paternity of little Liliana on the line, we're strapping in for another whirlwind episode of shocking drama.
Mr. Threlkeld, you have entered this courtroom with a marriage on the brink of divorce. You state that while you were out of the country serving in the military, your wife paraded around town with other men, and she has admitted to cheating multiple times. You claim you are not sure if you are the father of her third child, 18-month-old Liliana.
Okay, so Mr. Threlkeld, a soldier betrayed, really lays it all out, telling the courtroom how he discovered his wife's been cheating on him after a friend of his spilled the beans on the wife's activities back home. Imagine fighting abroad and finding out your home base is under siege by scandal. And Mrs. Threlkeld, she's lying to everyone's face about needing to strip because the bills are piling up. But Mr. Threlkeld isn't buying what she's selling. Not one bit. Now, don't forget, he knows what his friend has told him.
Earlier on in the day, me and him got into some words, so I thought we were gonna, settle it. Well, it turns out his wife and my wife were friends, and she had found out that she was actually stripping as we spoke. And at the time, I found out about it. I thought, it was all just a hoax. So I went, calmly to the internet lounge, got on Facebook and asked her, hey, is it true you're doing what I told you I didn't want you doing at all?
The plot thickens as Mr. Threlkeld uncovers flirtatious messages lighting up his wife's Facebook like a Christmas tree. Oh my god, he really pulled up with all the receipts. It's not just the exotic dancing. Oh god, no. There's a mystery man in the mix, liking those not-so-innocent pictures. And when Mr. Threlkeld confronts her, it's denials and excuses served up faster than a fast food meal. The excuses she makes are mind-blowing.
He hacked my Facebook. He invaded my privacy, and he looked into my stuff, into my messages.
So
that's how he found out.
What did he find?
There were messages, yes, but...
Actually, ma'am, see, she's gonna,
No.
that's already a lie. I got on there, and on the inbox, I see, oh, baby, I can't wait to see you later on tonight. I had a great time with you. you. I can't wait to see, the last few days we've spent together has been amazing.
Courtroom tension is higher than ever. The judge is piecing together this jigsaw puzzle of jealousy and deception, while Mr. and Mrs. Threlkeld are arguing back and forth. It's a he said, she said showdown that has everyone on the edge of their seats. Will the truth actually help their relationship at this point, or is it all over? I honestly know what everyone would do at this point.
Overseas, I was making $4,000 to $5,000 tax-free a month. Living in a $400
It wasn't even that much.
room.
Okay, Your Honor, there are expenses when you have kids. The money that was coming in, let's just be real, it wasn't enough to support the kids. And on top of that,
wasn't enough to support the kids. How? Because I'm gonna keep it real. $5,000 a month.
I had to
tax-free.
have it mainly.
Just when you think it couldn't get any more twisted, the focus shifts to Liliana. Is Mr. Threlkeld the father, or has Mrs. Threlkeld's side hustle introduced another player to the game? The suspense is killer as everyone waits for the DNA verdict. Plus, the judge asks a good question. Could you now find any other job other than stripping? And I agree with her. I am literally on the edge of my seat. This one's definitely an insane twist.
Stripping, I mean, because you could have just said, I want to go get an extra job at the mall.
Okay.
I want to be
Ma'am, since
Your Honor,
since we've been together, since 2008, she hasn't started working until actually about 3 weeks ago. It was her actually first-time job. Hooking or stripping?
It's not hooking.
You're selling your body for money. Hooker.
No, it's not.
Anyways.
Excuse me.
Wow.
Anyways, to make matters worse, ma'am, the day I was supposed to come back home from overseas.
Buckle up, folks, because the truth train is about to shock you. With the paternity test results in hand, the judge is about to drop a bomb of a truth that could either mend a broken family or blast it further apart. I mean, I don't think this relationship is going to get fixed anytime soon. Not with the way they're shouting at each other. It's high stakes, high drama, and high time for some answers. Don't blink. You won't want to miss the climax of this train wreck.
He may or may not be her father. Do you think, honestly, that he is the father of Liliana?
It could be a 50-50 chance, honestly, Your Honor.
Anybody got a quarter?
Do you understand that for a man, for any person, that would be really hard to accept? Mr. Threlkeld, you are Liliana's father.
There you have it. Another day, another paternity puzzle pieced together in the court of last resorts. What will the future hold for the Threlkeld family? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. When it comes to baby daddy drama, the truth is often stranger than fiction.
Since the day it's happened, since February 2011 to be exact when I found out, there has not been a day that's gone by that I haven't let her not relive the mistakes she made, period.
I appreciate your honesty. You were owning up to the fact that you would not let the mistake go. You threw it up in her face over and over and over.
2 years.